Joining me now is Republican strategist Harmeet Dhillon, and Adrian Elrod is former director of strategic communications for Hillary Clinton. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Melissa.
I am sure you have heard all the theories. It's like, the art of war. They're talking about President Trump supporting Roy Moore because what he's really doing is supporting himself, saying that these allegations weren't proven and he said they're not true. And so in many ways, Democrats are saying he's actually talking about himself. On the other side, Republicans saying that Democrats threw Al Franken under the bus to pave the trail to eventually call for the president to step down. And Roy Moore is sort of in the middle of all of this. Harmeet, is any of that analysis accurate, or is everybody seeing conspiracy theories everywhere?
Well, there are conspiracy theories everywhere, so that is true. However, what the president is doing here is trying to keep his promises to the American people, and that requires him to have a full slate of senators in the Senate to pass his agenda. And so while Roy Moore has issues that have been raised here, it's the height of rich irony for Democrats to be throwing mud here after years of their behavior with Mr. Clinton and others who have had innumerable scandals. And all of a sudden now it's Me Too and we believe the victims. But today, one of his accusers of Roy Moore came out and admitted that she actually has forged part of the yearbook signature. So there's all kinds of drama in this story, but ultimately this is up to the Alabama voters and what's right for them. And for 25 years, they've had a Republican senator representing them.
Adrian, President Trump perhaps is focused on his number one job, which is delivering his agenda to the people who voted for him and trying to improve the economy, get the tax package through. And to that end, he needs another vote. And that's what it's about for him. Do you think that's true?
Well, I guess it seems to be true because that seems to be what a lot of Republicans are saying. But this is disgusting. You've got the sexual harasser in chief, the president of the United States, who's actually hosting a rally. Maybe Roy Moore is not going to be there. Maybe it's going to be in Florida, but it's 20 miles away from Alabama. So it's clearly something to motivate Roy Moore supporters for Roy Moore, who is a child predator. I mean, this has taken all of this to a whole new level.
So, Adrian, let me ask you, because the other side's response to that would be that the other party is offering a candidate who's for full-term abortion, partial birth abortion, and they see that as murder. So that would be their response. How do you respond to that?
I think it's silly, and I think they're trying to simply deflect from the fact that they are trying to grapple with the very possibility that somebody who used to go to malls and troll for 14, 15-year-old girls may very well be the next senator from Alabama. The Republican Party is going to have to own this, whether or not certain senators, certain members of Congress have endorsed Roy Moore. The party will have to own this. And the party, by the way, has endorsed Roy Moore, as has the president.
Harmeet, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, Melissa, conflating 20, 30, 40-year-old allegations with evidence is the height of irresponsibility. The reality is that Doug Jones is campaigning on a platform of open borders, late-term abortion, and extreme Democratic leftism that simply doesn't fit the voters of Alabama. And so, I think it's very convenient that, on Tuesday, Al Franken was A-OK with the Democratic Party, and then on Wednesday they decide he isn't. This type of situational ethics is very interesting in D.C., but actually what matters here is what is best for the Alabama voters. Yeah. They're going to decide, and the president wants to keep his promises to the American voters. So this isn't about him. It's about what's best for America.
Adrian, she brought up Al Franken there. There are some that are saying the way that he delivered that message and the way he said he was going to step down in a few weeks and the way he didn't really seem sorry or like he was making a full apology for what happened, that they think maybe he won't step down after all. Do you think there's any chance that won't happen?
Look, I think Senator Franken made it pretty clear yesterday that he intends to step down. He intends to resign at the end of the year. And I think if there's a textbook way to handle somebody who has allegedly sexually harassed women in the Senate, or even before he was in the Senate, it's the way Al Franken handled this entire situation. He came out, he issued a statement, he took responsibility. He didn't apologize
to the victims, though.
He took
said
responsibility.
That he didn't take responsibility, though, because he said that, not all of the allegations are true. They painted a picture of me that's not accurate. There was a lot of denial in that so-called apology.
Well, again, Al Franken could have stayed in the Senate and allowed the Ethics Committee to fully investigate these allegations. He knew that him being in the Senate was a distraction. He chose to step down. And I think he did the valiant thing. And I think that more Republicans could take a cue from the way Senator Franken handled his situation yesterday, and especially when it comes to Roy Moore, who may or may not win on Tuesday. I'm rooting for Doug Jones, but if Roy Moore wins, Republicans will have to figure out how to handle this moving forward.
Thanks to both of you. We got to go. A lot more to talk about here. We don't have more time. We'll both be back. Thank you.
Thank you.